Baby, be in love with your fantasies. I can be a star, make a side so bright. Welcome to my dungeon, this is ecstasy. Let me play the fantasy.
What's good, fam? It's your girl, Asia.
And it's your boy, BJ. And we back like we never left. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and pulling back up for another reaction.
Yeah.
We're going to be jumping into these politics, jumping into different agendas. Looks like today we're going to be jumping into something that's really going to be dealing with feminism, feminists. And this is MILO Yiannopoulos. And basically he's on a panel at WCU. Okay. And he's on a panel and he's talking about feminism, and a black feminist comes at him, and so we're about to check out and see exactly kind of how this goes. With MILO Yiannopoulos.
Ooh, I can see this being a heated debate already.
Yeah, especially when you have feminists in the building.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
And hey, let's go ahead and check it out. Y'all go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Smash that notification bell so you don't miss any videos from Asia and BJ.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay. My name is Tanae. I'm the current president of our NAACP chapter.
Great.
And so I just have a few questions. During your entire presentation, I noticed that you failed to mention that feminism is the belief that men and women are equal. So do you not think this? And then also, I noticed when you were talking about America's values and about how great America is, you failed to mention that our nation was built on the power of white men without the acknowledgement of black people, the Indians, women at least. So do you not think that men and women are equal? Do you not acknowledge the problems that we have here in America that does, in fact, not make America great?
All right. No. Let's be respectful.
I mean, not triggered. I understand how to handle myself, unlike some Trump supporters.
Guys. It was a perfectly reasonable, respectful question. Let's be respectful.
Thank you.
On the first half of your question, women don't agree with you. Fewer than 1 in 5 women in America describes themselves as a feminist, even though over 85% of them believe in inequality between the sexes. Why? Because they know that feminism has become something different now. They know that the feminism you're talking about, it's very convenient, isn't it, to sort of treat men like shit. And then when people say, I'm not a feminist, say, oh, but feminism's out of quality. That's not what feminism's become. It's not what feminism is anymore. Feminism is a mean, vindictive, spiteful, nasty, man-hating philosophy.
So
that
why
has very
would you
little, well, let me
promote-
finish, because I let you finish, okay? That has very little to do with the equality of the sexes, and a lot to do with man-hating. And the way that you know that is women are abandoning it in their millions. Women don't want feminism anymore. They have rejected your version completely. They don't agree with you.
What do you think about that?
I agree with what he's speaking about in regards to feminism, because I feel like it has changed. It's completely changed. I feel like over like the last probably like decade or so, it's changed almost to a degree where like he's saying in regards to like women being spiteful towards men, but also like if you take it a lot further, way further, it's almost in regards to like them having a lower respect for like men in the household. So I feel like when women get to a point where they feel like men aren't needed in the household, I feel like that's when you've taken it to the highest form of feminism.
Is it that though? Do they believe that they don't need a man? I mean, not saying that they shouldn't have one, but do they believe that they don't need one in the household if they're
I feel like to a degree, they're for eradicating men from the household. To a degree,
okay,
I definitely feel like that.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I definitely don't agree with that.
Yeah, in regard, and not just that, but kind of even what she was saying in regards to like the respect level or like equality in regards to like men and women. I feel like there are equality between men and women to a degree, but I just feel like men and women are still like different from each other. And when I say like women and men are different from each other, you know, there's things that men can do that women can't do. There's things that women can't do that men can do. You know, and you know, vice versa. But I just feel like men and women should complement each other. Right. Not necessarily we're equal, but in regards to what a man brings to the table, in regards to what a woman brings to the table, it should be just complementary. Not necessarily we have to be equal. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, especially... Yeah.
Because there's so many things that in our society that I wouldn't say that's catered for a man, but I feel like it's a job for a man to do.
I would agree.
There's a job for a woman to do. And I just feel like we should complement each other equally.
Okay.
You need to see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I do. I agree. I agree
Mm-hmm.
with what you're saying. I do.
In the UK, the numbers are even worse. Just 7% of women in the UK describe themselves as feminist, despite the fact that 92% of women in the UK believe in equality of the sexes. It's very clear what's happening. They don't believe that those two things mean the same, because if they did, they'd give the pollsters the same answer to both those questions. Women know that feminists say one thing and do another. Women know that the primary purpose of feminism these days isn't to promote equality, it is to beat down on men. So you've lost, you have a big PR problem on your hands. And when you come up and say, well, how dare you not mention that it's actually just about equality of the sexes? Don't you believe in equality of the sexes? I very clearly said in my speech multiple times that I do, and that I love women, that I care about them. But, this sleight of hand that feminists play, when they're perfectly happy to treat men like shit and spread these conspiracy theories about the patriarchy, these lies about the wage gap, lies about campus rape culture, and then turn around and play the victim and play innocent and say, feminism is just about equality. Give me a break.
Oh.
Give me a break.
So...
And my thing with feminists, like with them like jumping onto like these different movements in regards to just like assault and just a lot of things in regards to like crimes that men commit towards women, like when they bring up like rape or they bring up like sexual assault, like I feel like they use that as the tool to beat men down with.
I could see that too. Yeah.
Because there are instances where those things happen, but I just feel like the feminists today, it's like they just take it to a different degree where it's not even about whether it's like right or wrong. It's just about their agenda and what they want. Because I've seen a lot of like movements.
What the expectation is for a man and what it is for a woman in that situation, like in those instances and what that situation is.
Yeah, because real things like that happen to women all the time, like sexual assault, rape, and things like that. But I just feel like feminists, that they take it to a different degree and they use that to like piggyback other agendas and things like that. Like I've seen like those types of things over the last couple of years to like a decade or so. In regards to like these movements, Me Too movements, like the feminists, they almost like hijacked. They pretty much hijacked the agenda and made it into something else. And I feel like that's what he's saying in regards to like feminists taking these serious topics and agendas that real women go through every day. And I feel like they hijack it for their own benefit. So like he said, to further beat men down.
Okay.
As to your second part of your question, I get some shit from conservatives for this answer, by the way, but I agree with you. I agree with you that there are structural historical problems in this country. I agree with you that black community has been treated like hell by both Democrats and Republicans. I just don't think Black Lives Matter is the answer. I don't think that throwing your toys out the pram and burning your own cities is the answer. I think better schools would help. And I think if black people really wanted to improve their lot and improve their situation, they would start voting for Republicans. Because when they do, and when people police properly, black lives are saved. Bill Clinton, who signed the crime bill in which took thousands of black dads out of families and threw them in jail, the terrible, pointless, awful war on drugs, right? Replacing, the black dad with the state, which is what Democrats have systematically tried.
The welfare state, absolutely, absolutely.
Replacing, the black dad with the state, which is what Democrats have systematically tried to do to you guys for generations. And Black Lives Matter's response isn't to say, we're going to try voting for the other guys because 40 years of this hasn't worked. What we want is better schools so that a poor black child who is smart could go to Harvard. They don't do that. They cause a fuss, they block a road, and they burn their own towns down. So yeah, I agree with you that there's a problem. But I think we probably have very, very different prescriptions for that.
Wow.
He said, I feel like we have very, very different prescriptions for that. I like how he spoke so eloquently in regards to it. But very, very clear and concise in regards to a lot of topics, and not necessarily just topics, but a lot of like disagreements that feminists have towards men. I like how he kind of just broke it down to her and kind of just gave her the hardcore truth. I feel like he gave her something that she's gonna go sit down and kind of really think about.
Yeah, I mean because
it's pretty deep.
It wasn't just him having argumentative type of statements per se. I feel like what he was saying was more so just kind of factual, in my opinion, and definitely, I mean, enough to give you something to think about in that aspect. I mean, especially coming from like a woman's standpoint and point of view. I agree with everything that he did say, and he agreed also with her as well on the second half of that question. I mean, I don't know.
And then you also, you know what else?
But the only thing I do want to say, like, ask though, is like, in what instance though? Like, can you just give me, maybe you can. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but in what instance or what situation, like, could you have like something that takes place where feminism or feminists per se would kind of take over and take that to a whole nother level? Like, I don't know. Like
a particular situation.
Yeah, like a situation that might have occurred. Obviously, like Me Too probably would be a good example. But
that's probably like one of the best like current big issues that I've seen kind of come along in regards to like the Me Too, because it's a very, very touchy, sensitive subject when you talk about like sexual assault, rape, things of that nature. But I just don't like it when you have like these certain movements that just hijack that, and then they plaster it all over TV, and then you see them marching. And you see a lot of other women coming out making allegations.
Okay, so it's almost like they just take it almost to the extreme of like what's actually happening here. Like, sometimes
I feel like that. I feel like that to a degree, because like over the last few years, and a lot of people can attest to that in regards to like just hijacking a lot of these serious topics that happen to women. You see feminists, they take that and that's sometimes that's their talking point to get to their agenda or what they're looking for.
Got you.
Because I just feel like that's not the key to solving the issues in regards to like feminists, because like I feel like they do hone in on men.
But what would be the agenda of doing that though? Like, why would it be
to discredit men, to bring men down? Because I feel like feminists feel like
but all men? Why not just the man that did it?
No, I feel like it's a movement across the board, and that's why I feel like that. Like, they're not just attacking or going after people who've done like certain heinous acts towards women. I feel like they draw that conclusion across the board, and it's just blanketed black and white.
Wow. Especially
with like the hardcore feminists, because there's a lot of women that have grown up in households where they didn't have men, and I've known women that grew up in households that didn't grow up with like a lot of men in the household. And when they grow up and get older, it's like they want to have that experience where a man is in a household to help her raise her children, her boys, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But then you have other women that grow up without men in the household, and they don't see the value in men because maybe they've been around so many women, and maybe the experience with maybe their mother, grandmother wasn't that good with men.
Yeah.
And so
they grow up to kind of have that same
same type of mindset.
Outlook that
mindset.
We don't need a man. Men aren't this and men aren't that. Okay.
Exactly. And I like how he was kind of touching on in regards to the black male in the household, because he even pointed to it in regards to the crime bill, the 1994 crime bill that Clinton signed, that took black males out of the household over like just nonviolent crimes, petty crimes, things of that nature. And then you see how it affects black culture, socially, how it affects black families,
Yeah.
And then you want to sit and turn around and say, oh, like, these kids are growing up crazy and they're growing up wild. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you just solve that one particular issue in regards to like black males being in the household, that's very, very important. Even Larry Elder said that too.
Yeah.
In regards to like just the black male being in the household is like paramount regarding like the prison system, like all of that stuff, crime, poverty.
Yeah.
And not just that, but then women not depending on the man, but now they're depending on the government. They're depending on the state.
Right.
So now it's almost like you eradicated the man altogether.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Man.
I like the points that he touched on for sure.
Yeah.
This was a very, very small sample size, but I definitely like kind of how he went ahead and hit it with like the details and the facts more than just opinions.
I like having these discussions though, because we can have like these open dialogues, and I'm just I'm learning along the way. But man, that gets deep. Like that runs deep.
Yes, it do.
For some people, I'm curious to know like the women who are out there that have been in those situations, like how they did grow up as a woman, and what their mindsets are with perhaps even their own children if they have kids. If they still have that same outlook, you know.
And then growing up and them raising sons.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, y'all let us know what y'all think about this as well. If y'all enjoyed this video, be sure you give us a big thumbs up. Big. Like, comment, subscribe, smash the notification bell, join the family, and if ain't nobody else told you, I love you. And we're going to see y'all in the next video, y'all.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings, y'all.
Bye.